What's up people, my name's Matthew, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to expose and prove that ImJustBait and Antz scammed their fans, stole hundreds of thousands of dollars and got away with it. Stick around to the end, you're not going to believe everything that they've got away with and how far this goes. I'm going to quickly do a little bit of background info, so if you already know what ImJustBait is, skip to this timestamp, and if you already know what Baitcoin was, skip to this timestamp. If you're from the UK and you're on Instagram, there's a good chance you've heard of ImJustBait. For those that don't know, however, it's an iconic meme page started in the UK all the way back in 2014 by one man called Antz. Over the years it got big, amassing a huge 5.1 million followers, which is roughly the population of Ireland. But they're more than just a shitposting page. They've been important in UK online culture for years, and its founder Antz has genuine connections in the music industry. For one, he founded a label in collaboration with Sony. In the midst of cryptomania in 2021 though, Antz decided with a team of 3 others that he was going to take on cryptocurrency and launch Baitcoin. But what did Baitcoin do? What was its aims, and did it fulfill any of them? Well no, obviously, hence the video, but it's important for you to understand the promises of the token for it to all make sense. Baitcoin was launched aiming to capitalise on the connections that ImJustBait has in the UK music industry with 3 main functions. Firstly, we had the selling point of the token, NFTs. And that's the first time I've heard that 3-letter horror acronym in 3 years, and frankly 2025 is already ruined because of it. But Baitcoin NFTs were aiming to be more than just a pixelated image of a monkey selling for $10,000. They were going to be groundbreaking and would solve a problem that's plagued the music industry for decades: faked tickets. They claimed to be building a sophisticated system that could verify these tickets, and also had ambitions to tokenise moments from concerts onto the blockchain for the highest bidder. The latter of which sounds like a really dumb idea now, but let's not forget this was 2021 and people were still spending silly money on NFTs that are now absolutely worthless. Next, they also said they wanted to open their own exchange, which would also function as a launchpad for other projects that wanted to ICO. I'm not sure why these people wouldn't just use PancakeSwap, but we'll gloss over that. Finally was the charity function. Like every other shitcoin at the time, Baitcoin was launched with a sales tax, with 2% of every sell being deposited into the coin's charity wallet. So it was a pretty ambitious project all in all. But what actually happened? Well, to be honest, very little, so I don't want to spend much time on the timeline because it's meaningless. So I'll try to sum it up as quickly as possible. Baitcoin launched on the 19th of May 2021 following a pre-sale with 900 BNB being deposited into the liquidity pool. It shot up 24x on the first day, but immediately retraced and slowly bled down. The team teased their app being ahead of schedule, with the first announcement in August, which was a partnership with Dark Horse Technologies, which now doesn't exist. Then there was radio silence until late October when they announced a partnership with the derivative of Bitcoin.com exchange, with them due to be listed on the exchange, which didn't happen. Nothing else happened. The team seemed to have given up just 4 months after launch. We never saw any demonstration of their app, NFTs or anything of substance. Aside from some posts reassuring bag holders on Telegram and Discord, we never heard from the team again. See what I mean? Pointless spending any time on this. It is, however, much more interesting to talk about the team. We already know about Antz, but what about the rest of the team? I can't find much about Dipesh. According to this article with Forbes, Hanad and Ahmed were the developers. But according to the white paper, this was only Hanad, with Ahmed doing marketing, so which one is it? Just a quick tangent about this article. It's a clear paid for shill piece, it's not that interesting, but you can find it by searching Forbes Baitcoin. But a member of the team has leaked this message that Antz posted in the private team Telegram chat, confirming it was done for the sale of a pre-sale slot. Right, back to what I was saying. Let's look at these two a little bit more. Around the same time they headed a cryptocurrency called OrfanoX. This all went downhill with them being accused of rug pulling, the BBC pulling a documentary on Hanad, and investors in the token even threatening to go to action fraud about the scheme, accusing them of using a rebrand and relaunch to pump the price and then discontinue it. Maybe this is why on the last archive on the Baitcoin site, these two had disappeared. This is the only confirmed experience we have for both Hanad and Ahmed, with Hanad being the only developer and his only project being a charity coin. Are we seriously expected to believe he was capable of building the promises in the white paper? Now, thanks to the diligence and honesty of the team at the time, we actually have valuable information that they've forgot to delete. From here we can see the founder Antz's wallet address and also all of the other contract addresses like the charity team and community wallet. But let's take a little look at Antz wallet to start. There's not much to talk about until the 7th of January 2023. when Antz in 2 transactions swaps the full balance of his Baitcoin holdings for 162 BNB. On the 29th of Jan, he swapped all of this into a USD stablecoin. This balance sat in the account for another year until the 14th of February 2024, when he moved it to a new wallet and cashed it all out to Binance Hot Wallet 6 in 4 transactions for a cumulative total of $52,000. So it sounds like it was a pretty good Valentine's Day in the Rob household.
Yeah, it's red panty night.
With the team wallet, strangely, this is the wallet that was in control of the liquidity, and on New Year's Eve 2023 they pulled all liquidity from the pools, which was 302 BNB, and transferred it to a different wallet where it still sits now. The Baitcoin holdings of this wallet never moved. So with the charity wallet, it's a little bit confusing with what's happened on the blockchain, but the easiest way to look at it is with the starting and ending wallet. To start, we have this wallet, which was the designated charity wallet as outlined in the Baitcoin contract. Finally, funds were always exited to Binance Hot Wallet 6. In between here, funds have moved between a few different wallets, but they're always cashed out to Binance. Let's quickly run through one of the transactions. We start at the charity wallet, then on the 21st of October 2021, they send 150 million Baitcoin to this wallet. It sits until the 3rd of May 2022 when they swap it into 2,470 BUSD, and they then cash it out a day later to Binance. Now I don't know what's happened to these funds, but there was no announcement of any donation on any of the days they withdrew from the wallet, and as we can see on the Wayback Machine, in late March 2022 they still hadn't made any donations. This, coupled with the fact that they moved funds through a few different wallets before cashing out to Binance, says a lot in my opinion. Take from this what you will. I feel like looking into the community wallet has legit turned my hair grey and pushed my hairline back, but I'll sum it up as best as possible. We can see on the 27th of October 2021 they split the Baitcoin holdings into 2 wallets, with a little bit going into the first and the vast majority going into the second. Let's focus in on the second. We'll call this the cash out wallet. This wallet was initially funded in BNB by the team wallet. From here we can see that they transfer all of the Baitcoin out to 7 different wallets. 4 of these wallets were sent on to another intermediary before being sent to a cash out wallet and then on to Binance. The 2 most recent transactions though went into new wallets and straight out to Binance. But the first one's a little bit interesting. We can see that this wallet was initially funded by the charity wallet in Baitcoin on the 14th of December 2021 and the team wallet in BNB on the same day. They sent bait to this wallet on the same day, and then on that day and also on the 2nd of January 2022 they swap that Baitcoin into BNB and then into random shitcoins. These are funds from the charity wallet.
Nice.
For other transactions though, it's quite similar to what we've seen in the cash out wallet. Funds are split into $1,000 to $2,000 piles, sent onto another wallet and then through to Binance. Again, we don't know what these transactions to Binance are for, but if they're happy to gamble money for charity on shitcoins before 2021 even ended, what do we think the chances of these withdrawals being used to market the token are? It's 0. Concluding this is tricky. Although I've reached out to everyone involved, I've mostly hit a brick wall. I didn't get a response from Antz, and Hanad and Ahmed are ghosts, and other members of the team have been pretty hesitant to reply. And you know what? I don't blame them. I've got no following, but if this video achieves one thing, I hope it gets people asking questions. But we can look at the foundations of the project to make our own judgment. One thing lending in its favour is the KYC pre-sale, which lends a bit of legitimacy to the project. However, this is also one of my biggest issues. They raised 1,000 BNB from the pre-sale, 900 of which was deposited into the liquidity pool. This means there was just 100 BNB to develop an app, exchange and complex ticketing software that would be launched to the market. Put simply, and especially when considering the experience of the development team, this is not plausible. In the crypto zeitgeist, scams and rugs are so widespread they've almost been legitimised, and I think colloquially, the working definition of a scam and rug has moved towards something that's seen as an unfair value extraction. While followers and fans of ImJustBait have lost money in the thousands, they've profited well into 6 figures. I've taken the liberty and honestly extremely tedious process of adding up all of the money that Antz and the team extracted from the coin from the project wallets. This has legitimately taken years from my life, and I never want to look at BSC scan ever again. But we can look from here. The liquidity from the project was about $200,000 that they've removed and put into a new wallet. Antz's wallet itself was $52,000. The community wallet was $27,705 and the charity wallet was $25,680. This is a total of $305,385. Please note, this only includes the official wallet. From speaking to members of the community, I have heard accusations that they also gave pre-sale slots to themselves, so it might be higher, but I can't prove this. This is a staggering amount of money to make from a complete failure of a project where no material progress was ever made. Do you think this is a fair value extraction? All this while followers of ImJustBait lost money. I spoke to one person alone who estimated they lost between 10 to 20 BNB on this project. From what I can see, this was marketed as a serious project, but it was never really more than a meme coin. This is a prominent influencer selling a financial project with grandiose goals, all while not really exhibiting any ability to deliver on these promises. While ImJustBait doesn't release their media pack to just anyone, it's reasonable to assume they have a young audience who are perhaps a little bit more impressionable than most, especially when it comes to high-risk crypto investments. This project exploited this and the trust that people had in the brand. Since all of this happened, there's not been a single update. Nothing. No posts explaining anything and no transparency with how funds have been used. So I think this leads into 3 questions that we need to ask of Antz. Number 1, do you have proof of any donations to charity? Number 2, what happened to all of the money taken from the wallets and what are you going to do with the liquidity? Number 3, do you have any proof that you ever developed the app, exchange or NFT ticketing program? I do think that Antz and the team need to be held to account for this project, its demise and their complete failure to communicate with people who invested in their shitcoin. But what do you think about Baitcoin and their actions? Do you think that it's a scam? Let me know in the comments.